Today I'm going to be cooking some chicken and broccoli Alfredo. And I have my chicken tenderloins that I'm going to go ahead on and prepare right now. I'm going to season those up, put them in the air fryer to later add them into my Alfredo sauce. I decided to go with the Rayo's homemade roasted garlic Alfredo. Just got some extra Parmesan cheese. I'm doing spaghetti instead of fettuccine noodles or the panini noodles. Some chicken broth to boil my noodles in, and my broccoli that I'm just going to go ahead on and steam um, before I put it. I'm going to steam it for a little bit and then finish cooking it, letting it simmer down in my Alfredo sauce. So let's get ready to prepare our chicken breast or tenderloin. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first, I didn't defrost it. About 4 tenderloins, and so I had separated them out of that big bag that y'all seen earlier into this Ziploc bag, just to make sure they were fully thawed out. And so I'm gonna rinse some bowl. And then I'm going to wash my chicken tenderloins. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Not going to be a big batch of Alfredo. It will be a small batch, just something for 1 or 2 days. Nothing major. I'm just rinsing my chicken off. I'm going to season them in this bowl. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is get me my olive oil. I like to add a little olive oil to my chicken, especially if it doesn't have any skin. So that California extra virgin olive oil I just put into this little oil container. I got this from Big Lots. I end up having to take the little sprout off because it always wants to fall into, let's see, can y'all see? It always wants to fall into whatever I'm pouring the oil into. Okay, then I'm going to do my seasonings. And as y'all seen or should have seen, seasonings will consist of some cayenne pepper. Turn the light on. Cayenne pepper, some Raging Cajun chicken or gator seasoning. I will not be using it for any gator. I don't eat gator. Some Tony's Creole onion powder, garlic powder. I don't recommend these because the way they come out, I feel like I should have got the granulated versus the powder. Especially being the fact that it does not come out of the thing at all times very well. So I will not be repurchasing these in the powder form. I'll do it in the granulated form. And what I'm going to do is season this up. And I will be using the same seasoning in my Alfredo sauce. I always add, if I'm doing especially jar sauces, I always add seasoning to the sauces. I was a little heavy-handed with that cayenne pepper, so I'll go ahead and put that up, and there will be no additional cayenne pepper added when I add my seasonings into my Alfredo. That will be all she wrote right there. So basically, to me, this is like a lightly seasoned. Okay. And like I said, I will be cooking those in my air fryer. So I'm going to get some foil, line my air fryer, line my air fryer. And what I will do now is put my tenderloins into the air fryer and fry them up till they get crispy. Now the next thing I'm going to do is get ready and put my noodles to boil. So I'm going to use some chicken broth, and I may pour just a tad bit, maybe a tablespoon of oil in there, just to help my noodles not to stick. Okay, so like I said, I will use some chicken broth, and I got this chicken broth from Sam's, and I'm going to use that to boil my noodles. And I think I'm just going to use one container and pour just a little of this olive oil in the container. And then I'll add some water for the rest. I did take out 2 chicken broths, but I don't think I'm going to use 2. Let me get me a plate so that I have something to rest my cooking spoon on. I had to rinse my mixing bowl that I'm going to use to fill up the rest of my water. And I'm not going to add any salt to this water because the chicken broth should be salty enough. And right now, we got 9 minutes left on the chicken breast in the air fryer. Try not to make another mess. And I'm making another mess. All right. And that's it with that. And we're going to let that come to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and put my top so that will come to a boil even faster. To steam my broccoli just a little bit, since it will cook down in my sauce somewhat. I think I'm gonna do 3 minutes because, like I said, I'm gonna let it cook down some, because I really don't have to steam it, because I'm gonna let it cook down some in my sauce. And at this point in the video, I'm going to be doing a voiceover because I had some extra noise and disturbance in the background. So I will just be doing a voiceover from here till the end of the video. Right now I'm about to start my doing my Alfredo sauce. I chose to go with the Rayo's homemade roasted garlic Alfredo sauce, and I'm putting it in my saucepan. I used, I believe it was a 15 or 16 ounce jar, and later on you will see that I will fill that same jar up with some whole milk. Right now my chicken stock and water has came to a boil, so I'm going to add my noodles. And I believe this was just a 8 or 12 ounce bag of spaghetti noodles. And I'm going to stir that around. You had seen earlier I had placed a little olive oil in my water. That is to help to keep the noodles from sticking. I didn't put any salt in the water because I used regular chicken broth, not low sodium chicken broth, but regular chicken broth with my water. So I felt like that would have been enough salt or sodium to for the noodles to boil in. And I had taken out 2 boxes of chicken stock. I just decided to just use the one. So now you can see how the Alfredo sauce looks. I'm adding some Parmesan cheese, half a bag. I believe that was a 8 or 10 ounce bag that I had picked up. And I'm also going to, like I told you earlier, season my Alfredo sauce with the same seasoning that I use, minus the cayenne pepper, with the same seasoning that I had used to season up my chicken tenderloin. So that is the onion powder. I had previously used the chicken or gator seasoning. by Raging Cajun. And that's the garlic powder. And then I should be wrapping it up with the Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. And that's the whole milk that I filled the jar up with and just shook it to get the remnants of the rest of the Alfredo sauce off and to also thin it out and make it stretch. And I'm going to let my sauce cook down some. Even though I added the milk, by cooking down some, it will thicken back up. And I've added the rest of the bag of the and right here I'm finishing up pouring in the rest of the Parmesan cheese. And I will stir everything together and let that cook down and simmer. So my chicken tenders have finished cooking in the air fryer. I think all together I let them go on the temp of 400 for about 25 minutes. And now I have my broccoli in the microwave and I put that on for about 3 minutes. But looking back now, I could have let my broccoli just simmer down in my sauce. So I'm stirring up the Alfredo sauce so that the Parmesan cheese doesn't stick to the bottom as it's cooking down. And I need to go ahead on and also stir up my noodles. I like a pretty well cooked noodle. I don't like chewy noodles. So I do tend to cook my noodles what some people would say is overcooked. And I have cut up my chicken tenders and I'm going to add that now into my Alfredo sauce so that the seasoning can blend and the chicken can cook down in the sauce also. And I'll stir that up, and the next thing that I need to add to that, the next and last thing I need to add to that is my broccoli. And there my broccoli is done. I steamed it for 3 minutes in the microwave. I just bought a package of the steamable broccoli so that it was less work. My noodles are looking good. My sauce is still cooking down, but it has, as you can see, it has thickened up between the cook down time and the adding of the Parmesan cheese. It did thicken up. So I'm going to stir that around and let the broccoli finish cooking down some within the sauce. And the chicken has already been in there at least about, I'd say anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes in between stirring time. And so basically I'm just letting this cook down just a little bit more, but you can see how it has thickened up. And the next thing is to drain the water off of the spaghetti and just to combine the two together. So I've drained the water off the spaghetti, and I poured the Alfredo sauce over on top of the spaghetti, and now I'm going to combine the two, stir it up just like you would do spaghetti. Because I don't put my meat in sauce, just set it on top of the spaghetti. I stir everything up. So I added some some Colby cheese, I believe it was, some Colby Jack cheese on just on top. Then I put the top on just to let the steam continue to melt the cheese. And I dish myself up a plate. And it is good. So I hope you enjoy.